Happy Friday. So not to scare you, but starting in August, of course, all those new regulations are kicking in on the combined HUD and GFE. And here's the reality. The CFPB, which was created out of the Frank Dodd Act, could really care less about earnest money. They could care less about the seller. And my partners at Land Title put on a presentation yesterday, and they're expecting a lot of earnest money to be taken over this period because Colorado contract law is not changing on the real estate side. So we're going to have CFPB that is going to pretty much take over this part of the equation, and Colorado contract law that are not matching up. So that's just reality. And here's the deal is we have to get a signed acknowledgement back from the client prior to giving you your clear to close. So the days of getting a clear to close a week before closing, you guys writing short contracts on clear to close, it's just not going to happen. I think the majority of these deals, at least with us, luckily we can do it 3 days prior to closing. I understand from Land Title, Wells Fargo is going to use the mail out method because there's two different timings, which is a week prior to closing acknowledgement. So here's the deal on the timing. I have to grab this. This is crazy stuff. So we have to get an acknowledgement back from your buyer. And so what will happen is the equations changed. Nova has chosen to do the HUDs starting at this point. So title 10 days prior to closing is going to try to get us all any water transfer fees, condo transfer fees, all that kind of stuff the title usually does. They're going to push it to us. We will prepare the HUD. We will say this is correct. And then we will push it out to your buyer. And here's where it's going to become a team effort. When it pushes out, if we're 3 days prior to closing, we have to get an electronic signature or a signature on that, or we're not closing. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts because the CFPB is built into this. The only person that has liability in this now is the lender. So we have penalties anywhere from $50,000 a day to $1 million. So the days of kind of the Colorado contract driving the transaction is done. CFPB is now driving the transaction. So that's reality. So if you want to close on a Friday, this electronic signature acknowledgement has to be back from your buyer on a Tuesday. And if they're moving and their internet's down or they're out of town or whatever, and they don't execute it, it's not closing on Friday. There is no exceptions with these kind of penalties. If they can't do it, then we got to wait till they sign it. Now the mail-out method, which is the second method, which a lot of the banks are going to use according to Land Title because it's safer, is 7 days. So if you want to close on a Friday, the package, the figures have to be mailed to the borrower 1 week in advance. So that's the new timing you're going to be dealing with probably with the banks. So it's going to even slow it down more. And their message to us was probably the 30-day close is going to go away. And just because of all the timing that has to happen now, it's scary, but that's just reality. So I think we will see contracts probably going to a 45-day, and loan acceptance is now going to go back to the way it was prior to this crazy stuff we've been in, where it's probably going to have to be close to the closing, or you're totally going to be leaving the earnest money open because there's not much a lender can do about this. But any questions, let me know, and I will be doing further follow-up. So this is just step one to kind of give you a heads up, I think, on what's coming on timing. You can reach me at 720-279-5936. You can email me at approvedbybill@gmail.com. And I also want to say a thank you to all you guys that closed business with me in April. I was #1 in Colorado for all of Nova. Huge month. So I want to thank you guys. Personally, I more than doubled almost my previous high at my previous company. So anyway, thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. I don't know if there'll be too many open houses with the rain, but any questions, give me a shout.